thank you to the chapters who are part of the CLC, the Chapter Leadership Circle. The funding for the Chapter Leadership Success Series is provided by the CLC chapters, so thank you. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Jenny Weisenbach. I am the Chapter Services Director here at Crew Network. And I will turn it over to Wendy Mann to get started.
Okay, Jenny said she was going to say the great Wendy Mann, but she didn't, so darn. It is, it's wonderful to be with you all as we start another year. First, I want to apologize because we scheduled this over the inauguration and I didn't realize that we would be missing the swearing in, and I know many of you would probably like. So if I see you staring off into the distance, I know that you may be sneaking in some peeks as, you know, this is a historic moment for women, and the fact that we are having our first woman in the White House as the vice president is a huge barrier breaker, if you will, for all of us. Politics aside, I just want to celebrate that moment of having the first woman in the White House. So we'll just celebrate that. Now, Jenny, could you unshare for just a minute so I can see the beautiful group of faces we have before us today? So we have 2 pages. Not all of your faces are showing. I just want to go on record as saying I don't see you all, but I wanted to say hi. And the one big question I have is, how many of you, by a show of hands, are first-time delegates? Anybody first-time delegate? Great. Well, welcome. It's good to see you and welcome you to the delegate role. And you're going to learn a lot today about what that means and what a great opportunity it is for you. So there's the responsibility, and then there's the accountability, but there's also the leadership growth opportunity. So I'm excited for you all to experience that. And Jenny, we'll go back to the slides now. And I'd like to also welcome back those of you who have served before as a delegate and or in some other role where you've been at the leadership summits, because you have experienced the power of the network as part of your role. So I think first I would just say that many of you, if not, well, all of you have likely experienced the value of the network at your local chapter level, the connections you make and the opportunity to learn, do business together. When you're a delegate and when you get engaged at the Crew Network level, it just opens so many more opportunities for you to meet and learn from other people. And I want you to approach this with a learner's mind, that there's things that are going to be, you're going to think, well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm only in this market. But open your mind up to the possibility of things that you might learn to bring back to your market. Or even if you don't do business across the globe, that you'll be meeting people who, I believe that as we have started expanding globally, that there is a new richness to the network because of the cultures we're learning from and experiencing. So I just invite you again to approach this with a learner's mind, and know that you will be meeting people from a lot of different places and have the opportunity to learn from them and grow. So slide, Jenny. And I'm sorry, and I also say this, you saw it on the slide, but I am Wendy Mann. I am the CEO of Crew Network. I'm about to celebrate my 4-year anniversary on February 1st of leading and having the honor and pleasure to lead Crew Network as the CEO. And this, for those of you who may not know, and some of you hear me say this often, this has been the most important job of my life, and is something that I cannot believe that I have the opportunity to work with all of you and meet all of these wonderful, powerful, talented, savvy women in Crew Network. And I am just honored again to be leading the organization. So on that note, let's talk about what it means to be a delegate. And this is part of what I was saying earlier. This is what it means to you, is that you have this year-long commitment and opportunity to really engage in the organization in a deeper way than perhaps you ever had before. You are serving as the liaison between Crew Network, this global organization, and your chapter and your members within that chapter. And so you are an ambassador both to Crew Network from your chapter as well as to your chapter from Crew Network. And it's incumbent upon you, with your learner's mind, to learn as much as you can at every summit, at every interaction, to take that information back to your chapter. There are a lot of people in your chapter, and you may or may not know this, that actually may not know that there's this broader resource available to them. So you have the opportunity to really open up the mindsets of those in your chapters to explain what network is and what we do. We want you to attend the meetings. Of course, as a delegate, you're responsible and required to attend the summit meetings, but there's so many other Crew learning opportunities that we provide, including convention, which is the big one. And I want to say this once, I will say it many times as we go through the next year, but convention to me is one of those moments in your career where it's really a wow, where it's a life and game changer for you personally and professionally, where you meet other women who walk in your shoes, you meet other peers who share their experiences and stories with you. And it is such an enriching experience. So if you haven't been to a convention, I encourage you to attend. I don't know what that will look like this year, but have that experience. So attend whatever opportunities you can to attend Crew meetings. It's really important as a delegate to understand and learn from those. Another responsibility is that you will be communicating locally about Crew Network initiatives and things that we're doing that are good to know about, you should know about, you can take advantage of. I mean, everything from being able to get a global award from Crew Network for the work you're doing in your local community to sharing with folks the outcomes that they can gain from attending webinars or summits and other kinds of events that we host. Probably the most important and significant role you play as a delegate is to attend the council meetings. There you'll be responsible for representing your chapter to vote on Crew business, to nominate Crew leaders for the board, for the nominating committee, and many of you have been working on that already so far this year. To serve on the nominating committee, you have to be a delegate. And so, and the delegates nominate those to serve on the nominating committee. So those are really important roles that you have as a delegate. What I'd like to invite you to do as you're listening to me talk, and Jenny when she speaks, if you have questions, just make a note of it. I'd like to have time at the end. I'll try to speed up my talking. Have time at the end for us to ask any questions you have, or alternatively, if it's easier for you, you can put your questions in the chat box, and we'll be taking a peek there from time to time to see if we can get some responses to you in real time. Okay, so this is one of the best things about your role as a delegate. You have the opportunity to truly impact your chapter, to really bring something back to them that they may not know about. So you have, you are the conduit. You are going to be the leader that says in a board meeting or in a all-member program or event to say, here's what's happening at Crew Network, and here's what you can learn. Here's what you can leverage as part of your membership. We want people to know that there are benefits that go beyond their local chapter. And so anything you take back, the insights you learn, the information the information you gain, any kinds of resources you learn about, you can take back. That's how you can impact. And finally, I just will make this one reminder to all of you. There was a time when we would say that Crew was a national organization. There was a time when we would say that Crew was a North American organization. Hello to our Canadian brethren. But now today, we can say we are truly a global organization. We have a substantial number of members in the UK. In fact, we have 70 members in Crew UK. We have at-large members in India, in Luxembourg, and we're growing that. Right now, we have our first member in Paris. So we will be forming affiliate groups like Crew UK in Paris, Sydney, and we are working on a chapter in Mexico City. So remember, we are a global organization as you talk about the organization. So selfishly, I'm going to say, this is all about you. You know, you can make this into a really great experience, or you can have a lackluster experience, but it's all up to you, and you are the connection between your chapter and Crew Network. And you represent your chapter at every leadership summit. So I encourage you to be fully present, to engage, and take advantage of the opportunity. Represent your chapter by being present at the delegate meeting, being present in the chapter exchange sessions, be present at the training and development session. So and Jenny will talk more about this, but there's lots of opportunity for you there to represent your chapter. And we always ask, wherever you are, whether it's virtual or in person, that when you ask a question or you speak, to say which chapter you're from. That's an important part of recognizing our network of chapters. You'll be responsible for, this is you being the conduit, taking information back to your chapter on initiatives that Crew Network shares. You'll always learn what's going on, if awards are opened, if nominating is open, whatever we're doing at any given point in time, you'll learn about at the summit, so that you can take that information back and share with your chapter. And I say share information, but also say, how can we as a chapter leverage this? How can we shine as part of this network? For example, should we nominate one of the local projects? Should we nominate a chapter member who's done fantastic work on the career side? These are all opportunities for your chapter to shine. So share that information and then say, how can we leverage it too? And this goes to the third item here, which is identify and promote your members' talents. The awards are a great way to do that. So encourage that kind of participation. Now I will let Jenny take on the next part of this. Jenny?
Hi. So your first duty as a delegate is to review the delegate playbook. This is available on CrewBiz, and we'll include a link with it when we send the recording afterwards. In the playbook, you're going to find information about the role of the delegate, what Wendy just spoke about. You'll also learn how to use chapter management and our online CrewBiz. You will learn about leadership summits, convention, our marketplace. There's information there about Crew Network dues, about publications that Crew Network sends, the use of the Crew Network logo, and then the Crew Network staff contacts. So it's a really valuable tool, and I want to make sure everyone's aware that it's there. To find the playbooks, I'll show you this a little bit later, but to find the playbooks, you just go to CrewBiz, and under resources, there's now a drop down that says playbooks. So you can easily see all of the playbooks that are available to your chapter. This is actually included in the delegate playbook. This is a calendar. There are some very important dates that you want to make sure are on your calendar as a delegate. What should you be doing right now? Right now, you should, if you have not registered for the Winter Leadership Summit, you should do that right now. And that's another comment that I want to make is, as a delegate, your role, one of your most important roles is to attend those leadership summits. So as soon as you get the email, the first email announcing the leadership summits, go ahead and register. Make sure it's on your calendar, make your plans, get it done right away. If you know that you're not going to be able to be in attendance, make sure you start communicating with your board. Make sure that you start finding somebody who can step in and fill your place. So just make sure that you're being proactive about registering and being excited to attend those leadership summits. The next important thing I want to encourage you to do, promote membership renewals. We are, end of January right now, and I know with 2020 being the way it was, we are all worried about membership retention. So on that note, I'll segue a little bit. Crew Network is actually putting together some tools to help your chapter. So watch for an email from Crew Network either later today or tomorrow. We've got some, steps. Here are 3 things you can do to help your chapter work on membership retention. We want to equip you with tools that you can just turnkey tools that you can just put into play right away. So watch for that and encourage your communications committee or your membership committee, whoever works on membership retention to take action. Back to the calendar now. There are notes here for most of the months. So just review this. And again, this is in the playbook. There is also a PDF of it that's on the CrewBiz Resource Center. The dates for the Spring Leadership Summit, which is in St. Louis, Missouri in June. Make sure you plan to attend that. Obviously, we haven't opened up registration yet, but as soon as we send something out, go ahead and get that on your calendar. And then we have our convention at the end of September this year in Las Vegas. And over the past few years, I've heard from many attendees that the Leadership Summit programming that we have put in place over the past couple of years, there's leadership development sessions, there's professional development sessions. Having that variety and that personal information and growth opportunities are making it easier for members to sell these opportunities to their companies. So think about it. Encourage your entire board to attend the leadership summits. We work very hard to design robust programming that offer every leader an opportunity to grow. So think about your entire board, your leadership team being together and being able to experience these summits. So that's a pretty powerful thought. Wendy, you want to take over here?
I definitely want to take over. So it's important to know the network. For those of you who are new, some of you, this will be old hat, but it never hurts to have a refresher. I want to make sure that we are all one united network, right? We are all unified together, working together for the benefit of everyone. We are fundamentally connected as a network of chapters, right? So we are you, you are us. We are all in this together. We are all trying to accomplish the mission of the organization, which is to advance women. And we're going to talk more about how we do that. But it's important to understand that. So there's no us and them. We are all together in this, trying to do better by each chapter through all of the things that we're doing. So the network is you. You are the network, and we are here to make sure that everyone grows and develops and succeeds. Now, a couple key stats for you. We are now in 77 markets, if you didn't know that. And we say we're at 12,000 members. Fingers crossed that we will be able to say that at the end of renewal. So again, get on renewals. And it's important to understand that as a network over the last 3 or 4 years, we have become a much more powerful presence in the industry. We have elevated our brand, we are recognized, and we are a group that we're on a path of really lifting up the industry as an organization and creating that awareness and instigating change. And I say that word in a positive way. We don't just advocate for change. We are in a process of instigating change. And we'll talk more about that. So next slide, Jenny. So one of the really important things that I love about this organization is that we are all about building leaders. And everything that you do as a delegate is an opportunity for you to build leadership skills. Never underestimate what you'll take away from this leadership opportunity. Every time we have a summit, there's leadership skills development. Every time we have a convention, there's leadership and industry development. But we are first and foremost building leaders. Some of you may remember we had a campaign, it seems so long ago now, but it was actually late 19, early 20, hashtag We Build This. We are in the process of building women leaders that are competitive, talented, and positioned for success. We want you to take advantage of the opportunities that we're presenting here now. Your agenda as being a delegate is for the good of the organization, but there's also that underlying personal agenda that you have of growing your own self. And we want you to grow. as you participate as a delegate. So this is a great way that you can do that. So we are in the business of building leaders, number one. We are in the business of business, right? We are a business network. And I don't know how many of you know this, but in 1986, when conversations started about forming Crew, part of the issue was, and for some of you who are younger women, you may not, I mean, maybe you do experience it, but there was no place at the table for women and there was no voice for women. And so a group of very smart, talented women got together and said, hey, let's give and get business to and for each other. That way, we're building one another up. We're building a cachet for ourselves as powerhouse women in the business. So when we were founded, that was one of the very first premise that we were founded on, is to be this network to give and get business. And, you know, historically, I don't know if all of you know this, but historically, one of the first things we said to people when you sit down at a table at a Crew meeting is to go turn to your left and turn to your right, or look across the table and say, I'm Wendy Mann. I can give you XYZ type of business. I'm here to get ABC type of business, so that you're immediately sharing with people what you can give to them and what you're looking for. And that really opens a whole array of conversation about doing business together. That's where you find the opportunities. That's what creates the richness of our organization. So I encourage you, as you are attending Crew events, as you're networking, even in the virtual networking, to start with that, here's how I can give and here's what I'd like to get in terms of business. This is another way that we help you build your leadership and your strength within the overall community.
Okay. So now, kind of as a summary, the main value and benefits that you receive, the key areas are the business networking, leadership development, career outreach, and research. So as a delegate, you can help your chapter members broaden the understanding of the scope of opportunity presented by Crew Network. Don't be shy. Make a difference in their careers by helping them leverage the opportunities and the resources that are offered through their membership with Crew Network. The opportunities exist to every single member, and they help to leverage members' ability to build knowledge, skills, and resources. So remind them, help them to think big about their career and business opportunities, and show them how to utilize Crew Network to make that work. And then another reminder, we are global. Land is local, but real estate is a global business. Remind your members, even if they don't seek business opportunities outside your city or region, that's a common thing that we hear all the time. There are new businesses, new opportunities, new developments coming into the region. So they want to be a part of those opportunities, those business opportunities. And you can also learn from other markets around the globe. And that's one of the great benefits of our online community, is we can discuss these things. Crew Network is opening doors to the world for our members. So make sure that your members know how to utilize their Crew Network membership. And Wendy said this earlier, we are no longer a national organization. We are global. We have an annual convention that encompasses our international interests, business opportunities, members, not just an annual convention, all of our programming. You see we have some global focused webinars coming up. So we are global.
I know some of you are saying, oh my gosh, how many times are they going to say global? More. And Jenny brought up a really good point. I just want to mention this as an aside. I recently had the opportunity to do a call with our India members. And I have to tell you that maybe it's just me, I don't know, but the richness of the conversation of learning from another culture was so powerful. And hearing them talk, and immediately on that call, among 5 or 6 new members, one person said, I'm doing this kind of business, and the other person said, I need that. I'm going to call you. So just like that, business happened in that first member orientation call. So that excites me. But the other thing on Global Voices, that Jenny was talking about, is we have our first ever Global Voices for Women program that is February 3rd. And I just want to pull that out as something, if you're really interested in the richness of the organization we're building, we will have someone who is Parisian, someone who is British, and we will have a third world kid. If you don't know what that means, you have to show up and find out. And then we'll also have someone from the New York market who is a powerhouse in the real estate world. And I really love this idea of experiencing these global voices. And some of you may have heard Natalie Paladichev when she was a distinguished leader speak. She is actually a member of Crew Montreal. So I want to encourage you. She has agreed to be one of our first Global Voices of Women speakers. So join us for that and get that richness. Okay, I'll stop on that because that does get me pretty excited. The one thing that I will tell you that's a really easy way to remember, and what you can talk about, is there are 4 pillars to Crew Network, and there are 4 pillars to Crew Network Foundation. So on the association side, on Crew Network, it's business network, leadership skills development, leadership development, research, and talent development or career outreach. On the foundation side, which you're seeing here on this slide, are the 4 pillars of the foundation. College scholarships. So a lot of times people say, well, I don't know why I'm giving to the foundation. You're giving because the future is female. That's our current campaign to raise money for the foundation. The money that we raise for this campaign and for much of what we do goes to 25 scholarships for young women in commercial real estate programs. They get $5,000, which is a really nice way for us to develop the talent pipeline, to develop a diverse pipeline, to develop a pipeline of women coming behind us. And our goal is to reach our hand behind and help them through supporting the foundation. Industry research, so important that we're benchmarking the status of women in the industry. I will have you know, in 2020, if you haven't heard this, the benchmark study told us that we have not made a lot of progress. And that is why I'm saying that we are instigating going forward. We are not going to advocate anymore. We are going to instigate change for women in this business. And I am on board, and not just being a cheerleader, but I want to see action. And I think we all need to see that. And then our other 2 pillars for the foundation are U Crew and Crew Careers. I mentioned them here and implore you, if your chapter is not doing these 2 programs, please. These are mission specific to our foundation. And we love to see, and I know it's such a positive experience to engage with the high school and university students. So thank you to those who have done them and are doing them. 20 years worth of work has been done in this area. And I know it's been difficult with universities and high schools this past year, but let's make sure we put that back on the front burner as soon as we can. Do it virtually if you have to, my friends. Let's talk about communication. You know, how many people here feel like you're an excellent communicator? No fear getting up and speaking in public, always willing to share information. I can't see your hands because, I can't see your hands. But I'm envisioning that many of you are putting 2 hands up going, me, I can do this. That's great, because you know what? We need delegates who are willing to speak up. So as a delegate, one of your responsibilities is the communication piece. Remember, you're representing your chapter at the meetings and the votes. So show up, be present, and bring your chapter's vote to the table. And I think Barbara asked the question about, do you need to consult with your board before a vote? Absolutely. That's why we send the materials in advance. That's why our bylaws require us to have things 30 days out. So anything that's a vote that's coming up, please definitely share that with the board and talk with the board about, so that you're voting in support of your chapter. And then understand to make sure that your job is to communicate about Crew Network and educate. We want everyone to understand that we're here for the entire network. So if you haven't seen the strategic goals and objectives of the foundation, of the organization, they're on the website. But we'll be talking about the strategic initiatives at every summit meeting. Take notes, and actually we'll provide you with some notes, but take those back to your organization, take those back to your chapter. And one of the things that was really important in 2020 and will continue in 2021, we always want to provide member value. Every single member deserves to get value out of this organization, both at the chapter level and at the network level. And we probably increased that 100-fold during 2020. And there are certain things that went really well that we're going to keep doing because you said that they were of value and benefit to you. Make sure you tell the members about that. The networking, the webinars, the free webinars that we do, leverage those as chapter programs. And remind your chapter programs committee, hey, if you don't have anything for November, look at what Network's doing and put that in as your program, because that helps us help each other. The other thing that I think, some of the chapters have done this really well over the years, and I've heard delegates talk about it, is to practice and teach what you learn. So at every summit, you're going to learn, whether it's a professional skill like public speaking, or I can use what we're doing at the February summit. We're going to be talking about bias. Take notes, learn, and take that back to your chapter. That is a great opportunity for you to demonstrate your leadership of what you're getting out and take it back to your chapter, and strengthen your own personal skills. And that will be a value. Everything we're teaching you, it's a value in your professional life, as well as your volunteer life with your local chapter. So take that training back. Encourage all of the chapter members to come to the summits. It is myth that it's only for chapter leaders. It is not. We opened this up many years ago, and I encourage you, if you're registering, forward that registration email on to 20 of your friends or colleagues and say, join me here. It's going to be a great opportunity to learn. We keep those prices low on the summit, and we're able to do that because of our sponsorship support, because of the chapter leadership support, because we view this as a way for you all, the entire chapter, to take advantage of some real-time professional development learning. And then the other piece of this is planning for the future, is leveraging the tools and resources, but communicating that out to your committee chairs. We have things for every committee that exists in your chapter. We hate to think that they're struggling going, what should we do? When we have these playbooks and these resources and tools online in the community. So if you have not explored that, explore it. If you need help exploring it, ask us. We are happy to walk all of your committee chairs through. And someone was mentioning to me that, and I don't know if it was a chapter, I think it was one of our chapters. Actually, it was Crew UK is bringing all of their chapter leaders together for an orientation so that they learn what the chapter is focused on for the year, and they learn where all the resources are that they can leverage. If you're not doing that, it's a great opportunity as the delegate to spearhead something that maybe will be new, but so helpful to everyone. Okay, now we're going to talk about other aspects of communication. Bring your business opportunities that you have to the summit meetings as you're meeting people. Take advantage of the leadership opportunities. Communicate those back to everyone you know in your chapter. Ask your board president for time at the podium to say, hey, I'm your delegate at Crew Network. Here's 5 things that I know that you'd want to know that they're doing that you can benefit from, that they're value to you. So take advantage of sharing the business opportunities, the leadership opportunities. But it's up to you as a delegate to ask for that. Remember how we always talk about women being afraid to ask. Ask your board for time at their board meeting. Ask the leadership for time at the podium at your membership meetings. Talk about the new initiatives that Crew's undertaking that are benefits to you. Even if you don't know how they benefit you, share that information. And then one of the really important steps we do after each summit meeting as a delegate, you will get you will get an email from your board liaison that's going to give you, maybe 5 to 7 bullet points of information that then you can either disseminate, take that and make it into your own and disseminate to your chapter members, disseminate to your leadership, use as talking points at the next membership meeting you speak at. We're going to give you that. So you don't have to recreate the wheel, though I highly suggest you take a lot of notes. But we want to make sure that you have everything you need to get the most out of this role and for your chapter to get the most out of it. Other things that I think are really important is to actively participate. Look at the at the chapter leadership series that Jenny does. Jenny hosts webinars throughout the year that are educational. If it's not for you, perhaps it's for someone else, and share that information. CrewBiz Open Forum, what a great way for everyone to participate and speak up. Let your voice be heard. Again, something we tell women all the time. Go in the open forum, make a comment. If you make a contribution to the foundation, share who you're honoring with that contribution. Share your stories, share your experiences, help us solve problems together, share your expertise in whatever your talent is. And I would call out Keena Davis. I know you're here somewhere. Can you make a noise so I can see you?
Hello.
Where are you? There you are. So I'm going to tell you a story about Keena. Keena started a conversation on the open forum maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about sustainability, well-being, and a new certificate or certification that's available. And it just got so much traction that pretty soon we had 60 people saying, I'd love to hear more. So guess what we did? We held a call. We set up a call for that group. I wasn't on it, but I heard that it became this very vibrant conversation, so informative. We can do that for you. That's why we're here. So take advantage. And Keena, don't you think that was a great outcome to that?
Yeah, honestly, the leadership cohort really taught me about the forum and the power of using the forum. So use it. Yeah,
thank you. Board nomination process, another thing that we really need. And I'm going to tell you, we have embraced, we're going to talk about this later, but DEI is part of our DNA at Crew Network. We've been doing it before it was, the expanded version now, but, our whole mission has been to have diversity and inclusion for women forever. And so one of the things we want to do is have more nominees from all walks of life. We know they exist in our membership. We know there are people from all different backgrounds, sexual orientation, ethnicity, race. We want everyone to be represented in this organization. So as a delegate, you have the opportunity to look around you, not just in your own chapter, but people you've met at convention, you've met through conversation on the forum. You're meeting people all the time. So are there people there, individuals who would make a great board nominee? Please feel free to nominate them. Don't just feel free. View it as an obligation, as a directive from me to you right now to say, be on the lookout for those people who are commercial real estate gurus, who have a sphere of influence, who are bring some richness to this organization that we need, and nominate them. That is one of the biggest things I can tell you that we count on you as delegates for, to make those nominations. Look beyond your own chapter, look throughout the organization and see who would be a great person to put in leadership, who brings some diversity, who brings, and believe me, we have geographic diversity, we have commercial real estate discipline diversity. There's so many other diversities that we can have representing. So please, please, please take that as a serious. I encourage you, once you're finished with your delegate duties, serve on a network committee. Put yourself in the speakers directory if you're not there. And listen, I'm going to tell you all, I don't care if you like public speaking or not, put yourself out there. That is how you're going to grow as a leader. That's how you'll be recognized as a business connection. You have something to offer, every one of you, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be in the job you're in. So put yourself out there as a speaker and put yourself in the directory. I know chapters are using it because I've heard they're finding speakers through the directory, and you have something to offer. Go to convention. If you haven't been, please go. It is just such a wonderful experience. And I want to see us grow that convention into a powerhouse event once a year where women get together and lift each other up and learn together.
Okay, so while we're talking communication, we want every member of the organization to know about CrewBiz and utilize this valuable tool. Like Wendy said, and Keena proved, conversations and deals are happening daily. So encourage your members to post on the open forum. There's also a membership directory out there. Make sure you have your bio out there. As a delegate, you should definitely have your bio on CrewBiz. We've heard many stories from members who've said that they were contacted someone because of their profile. Can you still see me? Okay. We've been told that members look for people to do business, and because their profiles aren't completed, they don't feel comfortable referring a client to them. So make sure your bio is completed. Also, I wanted to announce that we do have a new app coming soon. We will be sharing more information about that at the Winter Leadership Summit. It's going to be the directory and events, everything all in one app. So we're really excited about that.
Can I add something to that, to the profile comment? This is another task I'm giving you, and I'm sorry, I know you're making a list, but the profile piece is really important as a delegate for you to set the example of having a complete profile. So put your headshot in, complete the profile. We added new diversity pieces to that. So if you haven't gone in there lately, please fill out the demographic information for us to track diversity. So that it serves two things that are really, really important for us going forward. One is your chapter. So as a delegate, you complete your profile, complete all of that diversity information for us. I'm calling it diversity demographic information, because that allows us to track. There's no use of that other than allows us to be able to track the diversity within our own organization. And for us to be successful in really embracing DEI, we need to be able to have a benchmark of where we are and be able to monitor where we grow. Your chapter needs that same thing. So as a delegate, my task to you is to go back to your chapter when you have a speaking opportunity and tell them, complete your profile, complete the demographics so our chapter has a baseline from which to grow our diversity efforts. It is really, really important. And we want to make sure that we are walking the talk of DEI. So thank you for that. Thanks, Jenny.
Yeah, and just as a point of clarification, the bio on CrewBiz lives on CrewBiz. The demographic information that Wendy was talking about, you'll actually go to my account on the Crew Network website to enter that information. So if you don't see it right away on CrewBiz, just go to enter any of your contact information and it'll direct you straight over to my account.
Actually, I think maybe what we'll do, Jenny, is after this training, we're going to send an email out to you and we'll include a link to that. So to make it easier for you to direct you to it and you can direct others to it. Have a contest to see, how many people you can get to complete their profile during the month of February. Let's call that profile month. Everybody complete your profile. Make a contribution to the foundation, complete your profile. I have all kinds of ideas. Let's do it.
Okay, I sent earlier on the chat a link to this page. Someone asked where the delegate playbook was. I just sent the link to this landing page. There's actually 9 playbooks total. These playbooks are awesome. They include strategies, tactics, goals, best practices for leading your chapters in all these different areas. So make sure that your committee leaders, your board members, everyone is aware that these resources are out there. Because like Wendy said, we don't want people to be struggling and not know how to lead, and we have all these tools out there for them. There's also tons of webinars that are available on different aspects of your chapter's operations. As a reminder, Crew Network is a unique multidisciplinary membership. So that, that's one of the ways that we are very unique. We take great pride in the quality, experience, and diversity of our membership. As a delegate, you're responsible for helping to monitor the 2 requirements for membership composition within your chapter. These are established to help chapters remain successful by maintaining a diverse and experienced presence in their market. The first requirement is an industry requirement. At least 75% of the individual members of each chapter must be currently employed in a substantially full-time professional position in one of the qualified fields of commercial real estate. We abbreviate them as QFCREs. The second requirement is an experience requirement, and a simple majority of your individual members must have at least 5 years of experience in one of those qualified fields. And chapter management, which we'll talk about next, it actually has tools to help track this monitoring. There are multiple different tabs. The membership tab actually has graphs and charts and exportable lists, so you can see who makes up, which members make up which section of a pie chart, or you can see trends as to how membership retention and new membership is growing, those sorts of things. If you are not familiar with chapter management, everyone on your chapter's board has access to chapter management by default. So you log in to the Crew Network website, go to My Account, and the very first tab is where you'll see those demographic fields. So when I send an email after this, you'll have access to that. The very far right tab says chapter management. So you'll just click on that and then you'll see this page. We also have a guide to using chapter management. I'll make a note here to send the link. So you also have the guide along with the access to this, but it's a great tool. I also want to take a moment to talk about the Chapter Leadership Success Series. This is a series of webinars that we do, and I use the word webinar loosely. They're online programs. Most of them are meetings like this where you can actually talk and ask questions. We offered an enormous list. You see the list of the recordings there. We have tons of recordings already that exist in the Resource Center on CrewBiz. So look at those, make note of those, encourage your membership committee. There's 3 different membership webinars on there. So take a look at those and then sign up for the ones that we have coming this year, or encourage the people who need to watch those to sign up for those. And then every chapter has a member of the Crew Network board assigned to them as a board liaison. So we'll go over which board member is assigned to your chapter a little bit later. In past years, the board members have traveled to visit your chapter. We want to make sure that chapter leaders are connected to a board member for encouragement, for assistance. The board members will help you learn more about how Crew Network can benefit your chapter. So it's a great way for our organization to continue to align and support one another as an entire global organization. We learn from each other and we share and we connect chapters with challenges to the chapters that have solutions. So, and then Crew Network has a suite of marketing tools and materials that are available to chapters at little or no charge. This includes a marketing toolkit for the convention, membership brochure, and we're going to send you some more membership materials to help with renewals. We have digital templates, we have table tents, PowerPoint presentations, logos. All of these tools are available in CrewBiz in the marketing folder in the open in the resource center. And just reach out to me or anyone on staff if you need help finding them.
I just want to call attention, Jenny, to the item that's on that slide. Can you go back one slide?
Yep.
Sorry. Over in the, gosh, I can't even say, I'm looking at it. So it's the far right where it says crew benefits. It's what I call the side-by-side. We often get asked, what does Crew Network do for chapters? And so if you look at the side-by-side, right there, yeah, you see the left-hand side says chapter affiliate benefits, and then the right-hand side is member benefits. If you haven't taken a look at that or shared that, I think that's a really great way to educate the members about what they have available to them and what we do as a network organization, as the global organization, to support chapter efforts. Again, you're educators in this role as well as so many other things that we've tasked you with. Thanks, Jenny.
All right, and that brings us to the invitation Crew Network extended to all chapters when we unveiled the Crew Network logo at our convention. I cannot believe this was just in September of 2019 in Orlando. I mean, it seems crazy, but we have 69 chapters who have signed up to use a new logo that aligns with Crew Network's new brand so that we can present a more strong and consistent visual presence in the market. So obviously our marketing department has been working with many of you in the past 12 months to identify your new colors and provide a comprehensive visual branding guide. So to date, 69 out of 77 total chapters have approved their new logos. So if your chapter doesn't have one of these new logos, talk about it with your chapter leaders. The invitation is still open. We would love to have all chapters.
Yeah, we know who you are. I'm just saying. No, seriously, it is so important. And I have to say, I am thrilled when I see all those logos like that. It just gives us the feeling like we are a family of organizations, and I just love it. So hopefully everyone will join in.
We're going to talk a little bit about the four areas of strategic focus. And DEI is one of them. We embrace diversity as our way of being. Like Wendy said, we are fundamentally diverse. And I'm using air quotes there for those who can't see me, because we are multidisciplinarian, and we are women and men. So this year, Crew Network is turning to increasing inclusion throughout the organization. And it is our aspirational goal to be the global thought leader regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion in commercial real estate. Our primary mission as Crew is to transform the industry by advancing women, as it has been for more than 30 years. So that's still our mission. We're working to ensure we walk our talk on diversity and inclusion while we stay true to that mission of advancing women in the industry. And then I'll say the global word again. We are moving forward with growing and cultivating our global presence. As Wendy mentioned, we have 70 members in the UK. We have members in India. It's our goal to launch a couple new global affiliates in Europe and Asia, and a chapter in Mexico City in the next 3 years. We are currently also making inroads with Sydney and Paris.
Industry leadership is one of our focus areas. And I think one of the things where this came from is just that we recognize that the benchmark study told us there hasn't been much. This goes back to we are instigators. In 2021, we are instigating and activating. So in the coming weeks and months, you'll hear more about some of the initiatives, but we're focused on developing male allies and getting some proactive commitments to make change within the industry on behalf of women. And there, I just want to point out, you have the Crew Network Executive Committee for 2021, Tiffany English, our president, Christine Gorham, our immediate past president, and of course, Barbie Reuter as our president-elect. So that industry leadership will help move us forward. And we will have, in some of the things that we're doing, we will have materials and information for chapters to engage and participate as well. One of the big things that I think is so powerful about our organization is our unity. We are one crew, and I just want to make sure that and this is why this is a strategic focus, is to make sure that even though we've been apart and we are apart, and you feel this in your chapter somewhat too, I'm sure, is you're used to being together in a room and having the feeling and the body language and all of that. But we are one crew, and we are united near and far, whether we're together or apart. So, this goes back to the three things that we want to remember, is that we're giving and getting business, we're growing leaders and helping you advance your career. And we, as our mission, is advancing women and transforming CRE. But we're doing that all together as a unified organization. And it's really important to the leadership and to our future that we remain committed and united with one another. And so that is one of the things we're focusing on, that is that unity of our organization over the next year, wherever we are. We're getting up against time, so I just wanted to encourage you to stay on just through the end of this, because this is the schedule for February. So please stay with us.
And I'll rush through this really quick. The schedule for Thursday is shown here. The breakout sessions, they are offered twice. There's a session on DEI, session on membership recruitment during a pandemic, mentoring, programming for virtual and face-to-face, sponsorship, and UCRO and crew careers. So there's 6 different breakout sessions that are offered during each of those time slots. Encourage committee chairs, other members to attend so they can take part in these conversations that are happening. There's also leadership meetings. That's where you will meet with your board liaison. I have slides at the end of this that will show you which board liaison you're assigned to. And these slides will be posted on CrewBiz, and we'll send out an email. So if you have to hop off before the end, you'll still have access to it.
And just a reminder, you are required to attend your leadership meetings. That's not optional. In fact, I want to say none of this is optional to delegates.
The networking happy hours are open to anyone. And then the leadership dine-arounds, those are for chapter presidents and delegates only, and you'll be meeting with the same people you met with during the leadership meetings. During the leadership meetings at this time, general members will be meeting with Wendy. And then on Friday, it's a much simpler schedule, but very important. We have the council meeting, and then we have some DEI training. When we go back to in-person meetings, it is important for delegates to arrive on Wednesday, so you can take advantage of the full day programming on Thursday.
And you are not required to go to yoga, but you can if you want to. So, encourage members to attend the convention. I already mentioned that. And then the other thing as a delegate, this is a way for you to grow your leadership too, is become the mentor that you would like others to be, right? So become that mentor as a delegate. Go back and mentor others about the experience you're having. Share that and encourage. And again, you know, the important thing about being a delegate is to communicate up and down. You have a delegate checklist. If you haven't seen it yet, view it, and it has everything on there that you're going to need to do your job. And that extra one that I gave you, which who remembers what I gave you as an extra job? Get your profiles completed in your chapter. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is me too. Sorry, Jenny. Sorry, I was just going to answer Keena's question. Maybe I'll just say it. Keena asked, when are we going to know if the spring summit is going to be in person or virtual? And the answer is as soon as we possibly can. We are actually going to survey both our delegates and our leadership and members to find out how people are feeling. We're going to do that, I think, Jenny, we said toward the mid to late February. So we will make an announcement. We typically would go live probably in mid-March or so with the summit information. So we'll make a decision before that. So you should know in plenty of time. Just as a question while I have you on the thing in the chat box, could you put in a yes or a no for whether or not you would attend summit in June, knowing what you know right now, just out of curiosity? Thanks, Elise. We'll see you. We'll send you out everything you need to know. I'm going to just say communicate member success. Thank you. Research is important. Share the research study.
Okay. And now I'm just going to walk through, I'm going to scroll through these slides slowly. When I send the follow-up email, I will also include a link to a PDF that has all of these listed with your board members. So you'll actually have a PDF copy of this. Anyone who is not a delegate, who's a president, will meet with the current Crew Network president. So that's Tiffany English this year. And then turn it back over to Wendy. Oh, you're muted.
You don't have to tell me. I see myself. You know how I feel about the mute comment. I just want to say that we wouldn't be where we are without our partners. And so just as a thanks to them, I call out to them. And I also would encourage you, if you have an opportunity to do business, look at our partners first. Look at your partners in your local chapter. Look at our partners at the network level. They are important people. They are important companies to us, and we appreciate their support. And I'd also like to take a minute to thank all of the chapters who have committed to the CLC so far this year. And hoorah to Crew New York at the highest level, AZ Crew, Charlotte, Atlanta, Chicago, Greater Philly, Boston, and Houston. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. To our contributor friends and supporting, we love you too. 5 things to remember to take away from this. Jenny and I are going to do a lightning round on this. Number 1, represent your chapter at meetings and for votes. Number 1, responsibility.
Number 2, communicate. Educate your members about Crew Network.
3, promote Crew Network as a global organization.
4, connect with your board liaison, with other chapter leaders, other members. Use CrewBiz Open Forum. Lead by example.
And leverage all the resources that you have at your fingertips in CrewBiz. Congratulations, everyone, on your opportunity to lead this year. Thank you for serving. We appreciate you, and apologize that I'm a long talker.
If you want to stay on a little bit longer, there were some questions in the chat that we didn't get to, so I'll address those. And then if anyone wants to see any demos of CrewBiz and the Resource Center, any of that, I'm willing to do that for you. So I'll go back to the chat here. Kathleen asked, where do we see who our network or our liaison to the network is? I showed you those slides. Again, I'll include a link to the PDF. Elena asked, if a member used to be in a qualified field and recently changed jobs and no longer qualifies, can they write out their balance of membership and then just not renew? Yes, the membership stays with the individual until they haven't paid anymore. And if she's no longer in the industry, then she shouldn't be allowed to renew.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's asked, can you address the network nominating committee requirement that in-person meetings are mandatory given COVID-19 concerns? Wendy, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, what's the question?
The nominating committee requirement that in-person meetings are mandatory.
Yeah, so somebody's asking whether or not they'll be in person. Yeah, we don't know whether they'll be in person or not yet. It will depend on what the state of things are when we do those meetings. So let's just say if we make the June Summit virtual, the nominating committee would be virtual. The point is, regardless if it's virtual or in person, you have to show up if you want to serve on that committee.
Okay, Elise asked, can you provide a copy of this presentation? Absolutely, it will be in CrewBiz. Typically takes a day or 2 to upload the recording to YouTube, so we'll send out an email as soon as it's done. And I see a lot of yeses, a couple no's. Dying to go somewhere in person. No, but only because I'm having a baby that month. Congrats.
Congratulations. Hey, Elena, did Jenny answer your question?
Yes, that's perfect. We have a member that renewed last year. She's all paid up, started the year, and then her company dissolved. It wasn't even a layoff or firing. Their company no longer exists. She is now in a similar role, but for a residential company, but like, we haven't been able to confirm if her skill set is being used to build like the commercial side of that business or anything like that. But she's a super involved member. She was a big, when her company existed, they were a sponsor for a convention. I mean, just super involved. And, we want to make sure that we are there for her and that she is leveraging her opportunities within Crew to find something in a QFCRE. But I also understand that bird in hand when you have, family to support is really important. So we're trying to support her, but she's like nervous that she can't stay. So we've had a very active email string trying to see how we can keep her. So I'm about to respond to a lot of hopefully happy folks. So thank you for addressing my comment.
Okay.
Thank you all. Great to
Thank
see you.
Very much. Does anybody want to see any of the resources, or are we all good?
I'm going to take that as an all good.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks to everyone.
Bye, you guys. Hope to see you soon.